The Prophet's heavenly journey, Isra wal Meraj explained. It was a quiet, starlit night in Makkah. The Prophet Muhammad rested, his heart heavy with grief. He had faced rejection from his people, the loss of loved ones, and the loneliness of carrying a mission that seemed impossible. Yet in this moment of sorrow, Allah had prepared a gift, a divine reassurance that his mission was not in vain. This was not an ordinary journey. It was the Isra wal Miraj, a miraculous ascent from earth to the heavens, meant to strengthen his resolve and show Allah's love and support. In the stillness of the night, Angel Jibreel appeared before the Prophet ﷺ. But he was not alone. He brought with him a magnificent creature known as the Buraq, dazzling white, swift as lightning, faster than any imagination could grasp. The Prophet ﷺ understood this was no ordinary visit. Mounting the Buraq, he left behind the hardships of Makkah, ready to witness wonders beyond human comprehension. This moment marked the beginning of a divine journey, a sign of Allah's guidance and mercy. The first stage of the journey was the Isra, the miraculous night ride. In an instant, the Prophet ﷺ traveled from Makkah to Jerusalem, arriving at the sacred Al-Aqsa Mosque. Subscribe now and click the notification bell so that Allah's blessings will continue to be upon healing. There, he was greeted by a gathering of prophets, Ibrahim, Musa, and Isa among them. Together they prayed with Muhammad leading them. This prayer symbolized the unity of all prophets, reaffirming the timeless message, worship Allah alone and follow his guidance. After the prayer, the journey continued upward. Guided by Jibreel, the Prophet ascended through the gates of the heavens. At each level he was welcomed, shown wonders, and introduced to messengers who had come before him. This ascent, the Miraj, was not just a journey through space. It was a journey through realms of divine truth, a powerful sign of Allah's greatness and his guidance for humanity. At the first heaven, the Prophet met Adam, the father of mankind. Adam welcomed him warmly, proud of his descendants' devotion to Allah. On Adam's right side, the Prophet saw the souls destined for paradise. On his left, those facing punishment. Jibreel explained, this vision was a reminder of the choices that shape our fate. It illustrated humanity's shared connection and the Prophet's mission to guide his followers toward righteousness and eternal reward. Ascending to the second heaven, the Prophet met Isa and Yahya, cousins bound by faith and courage. They greeted him with kindness and warmth, embodying resilience in spreading Allah's message despite opposition. Their presence reminded the Prophet ﷺ of the strength required to continue his mission, even in the face of rejection. This meeting underscored the unity among prophets and the shared struggle to guide humanity toward truth. As the Prophet ascended to the third heaven, he was greeted by none other than Yusuf ﷺ, famed across generations for his unmatched beauty and his unwavering trust in Allah. Imagine the scene. Yusuf, radiant as ever, welcoming the Prophet with warmth and respect. But this wasn't just about beauty, it was about patience. Yusuf's life was a saga of betrayal by his brothers, slavery, false accusations, and imprisonment. Yet through every trial he clung to faith. Eventually, he rose to power in Egypt, proving that patience and trust in Allah transform hardship into triumph. For the Prophet, burdened by rejection and loss in Makkah, this encounter was a divine reminder. Trust Allah's plan, even when the path seems impossible. Yusuf's story was a living parable that faith and perseverance lead to success. In the fourth heaven, the Prophet met Idris ﷺ, a prophet celebrated for wisdom and devotion. Idris was believed to be among the first to write, to study the stars, and to seek knowledge of Allah's creation. He welcomed the Prophet with dignity, emphasizing the importance of knowledge, patience, and teaching. Idris symbolized the scholar's path, striving for truth and enlightenment, not for fame, but for guidance. This encounter reminded the Prophet ﷺ that his mission was not only to lead but to teach, to illuminate hearts with wisdom, and to anchor his community in learning. Humorously, one might say Idris was the professor of the heavens, reminding everyone that pens and patience can be as mighty as swords. Ascending to the fifth heaven, the Prophet met Harun ﷺ, the gentle brother of Musa. Harun was known for his supportive leadership, his kindness, and his ability to unite people. He greeted the Prophet warmly, symbolizing compassion and unity. Harun's role in assisting Musa reflected the importance of teamwork and loyalty in fulfilling a divine mission. For the Prophet ﷺ, this was a lesson in community. Leadership is not about standing alone, but about building bonds of compassion and unity. Harun's patience and gentleness were qualities the Prophet would need as he guided a diverse and often challenging community. At the sixth heaven, the Prophet ﷺ met Musa a.s., one of the most significant prophets, who had led the Israelites through trials and triumphs. Musa welcomed him with respect, but then he wept. Why? Because he realized that the followers of Muhammad ﷺ would outnumber his own. It was a moment of humility, tinged with both sorrow and admiration. Musa's tears were not of envy, but of recognition of the Prophet's immense responsibility. This encounter underscored resilience. Musa had faced rebellion, hardship, and endless challenges in guiding his people. His strength and dedication inspired the Prophet ﷺ to remain steadfast, knowing that his mission would demand courage beyond measure. Finally, the Prophet ﷺ reached the seventh heaven, where he met his ancestor, Ibrahim a.s., the friend of Allah. Ibrahim welcomed him with love and reverence, embodying the legacy of faith and sacrifice. Ibrahim's life was a testament to devotion, leaving his homeland, building the Kaaba, and even preparing to sacrifice his son in obedience to Allah. His presence in the seventh heaven symbolized the pinnacle of faith, the ultimate trust in Allah's will. For the Prophet ﷺ, this was the crowning encounter. A reminder that his mission was the continuation of Ibrahim's legacy, a thread of faith woven across generations, binding humanity to the worship of one God. At the seventh heaven, the Prophet ﷺ found Ibrahim a.s. seated beside Al-Bayt al-Mamur, the heavenly sanctuary where angels worship daily. Imagine the grandeur. A place where 70,000 angels enter to worship, never to return, replaced by new ones each day. Ibrahim welcomed the Prophet warmly, symbolizing the lineage of faith that connected them. As the father of monotheism, Ibrahim's legacy was a reminder of the Prophet's responsibility to uphold and spread the truth of Allah. This meeting was not just familial, it was spiritual, a deep bond between prophets that strengthened Muhammad ﷺ as he continued his divine journey. Guided by Jibreel, the Prophet ﷺ ascended further until they reached Sidrat al-Muntaha, a magnificent tree marking the boundary of creation. Its leaves were vast, its colors beyond human description, and it stood as the ultimate limit, where no being could go beyond. Here, Jibreel explained, "This is as far as I can go. Beyond lies the presence of Allah." The Prophet was granted permission to proceed alone, an honor no other had received. This moment illustrated his unique relationship with Allah, a sacred trust that elevated him above all creation. In Allah's divine presence, the Prophet was given a precious gift for his followers, the command of daily prayers. Initially, 50 prayers were prescribed, but, upon Musa's advice, knowing the burden on the people, the Prophet ﷺ humbly requested reductions until it was set at 5 daily prayers, each carrying the reward of 10. This gift became the foundation of Islamic faith, a spiritual lifeline connecting believers to Allah throughout their lives. Salah was not just ritual, it was guidance, discipline, and mercy wrapped into one. During this miraculous journey, the Prophet was shown glimpses of both paradise and hell. In paradise, he saw lush gardens, flowing rivers, and unimaginable blessings awaiting the faithful. In hell, he witnessed the punishment of wrongdoers, a stark reminder of the consequences of misdeeds. These visions were powerful lessons of the hereafter, urging humanity to live righteously, seek Allah's mercy, and strive for paradise while avoiding the path of punishment. With the journey complete, the Prophet returned to Makkah, back to his earthly mission. He shared his experience with his companions. Some listened in awe, while others doubted. Yet Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu immediately believed him, earning the title as-Siddiq, the truthful. The Isra wal Meraj was more than a miracle. It was a reminder of Allah's immense mercy and wisdom, bringing strength and hope to the Prophet ﷺ during his toughest times. For Muslims, it remains an inspiration to cherish the gift of prayer, remember the legacy of past prophets, and hold firm to the promise of the hereafter. If this miraculous journey has inspired you, don't forget to follow us, subscribe, and click the notification bell, so you'll be the first to catch more epic and intriguing stories from history and faith.